Thank you for joining us here today. My name is this is my brother Shamiz, and for the last 2 years we've been on a journey to find out what it takes to create outstanding health. So, about 2 years ago there was a very significant event that happened in our family, and it took into account Shamiz and a digestive disorder that he faced while he was living in Japan. I'm just going to hand over to Shamiz now as he tells us exactly what happened and how he was able to overcome his digestive disorder through nutrition rather than medication.
Thanks, Shukul. I want to share with you my journey on how I cured my disease by a plant-based diet. Now, it all started in Japan in 2012 when I was diagnosed with a digestive disorder and I was admitted to hospital. Now, it was a bit strange for me because I didn't know what was going on with my body. I was going to the toilet a few more times than I should, and my bowel movements were quite frequent. I didn't really know what was going on, so I went to my local GP and I said to him, look, this is the problem that I'm facing, and what can you do about it? So what he did was he went and ran some tests on me, and that's how I ended up in hospital to see what was really wrong. And I was diagnosed with Ulcerative Colitis. It's a digestive disorder. Now, I was put in hospital for about a week because they wanted to see what was wrong with me. They put me in for observation. And when I was in hospital for a week, they put me on a diet that consisted of steamed fish, a raw egg, some rice and some miso soup. And after I ate those foods, I actually went downhill. Instead of going to the toilet about 3 or 4 times a day, I was going about 5 to 6 times a day. And I was kind of shocked, and I was like, I'm supposed to come into hospital and I'm supposed to get better. Now, little did I know that this was one of the most life-changing events in my life. The doctors at the time told me that, what you're eating has no significance to your digestive disorder. So what they did was they put me on medication. So I was on antibiotics, the general medication that you get. So this obviously extended my stay for another week, and my stools increased because obviously they put me on medication, and my body didn't respond to the medication. My body responded in a different way, and I actually increased my stool count from 5 to 6 to about 10 times a day, and that's quite a lot, going to the toilet 10 times a day. It's pretty much 1 every hour until you go to sleep. Now, the 3rd week of hospital was really bad. The doctors increased my dosage to steroids, and I was going to the toilet about 20 times a day. Now that is a significant thing. It's huge. You don't want to be doing that. Now, in the 3rd week, I called my parents and I said, look, you guys have to fly over. This was all in Japan. You have to fly over and support me because I don't know what's going on in my body, and neither do doctors. I mean, when you enter hospital, it's supposed to get better, aren't you? And my condition actually got worse. Now, the 4th week was absolutely even worse than the 3rd week. I can't describe how bad it was. The doctors put me on the highest dose of medication because they thought they wanted to try and cure my disease through medication. And it didn't work. I mean, my body responded in a way that they didn't even know. And instead of 20 times a day, I was actually going 40 times a day. Now that is, twice an hour, pretty much. Some of the times it was every 15 minutes, and it was a very, very uncomfortable position. I was in a very uncomfortable position. So my mum was asked the doctor, what's going on and why isn't he getting better? The doctors responded and said that, we have a last resort, and that is surgery. Now, what they were going to do, because the medication wasn't working, they were actually going to cut a piece of my large intestine out of my, they were going to cut a piece of my large intestine out. And if they had done that, I would have been living the rest of my life in a bag, and that is really not what you want to do for the rest of your life. So, because the doctors didn't really know what was going on, and we didn't know what was going on, my mum was looking on the internet to find a cure. She actually did find one. She found a book called Self-Healing Colitis and Crohns. And this book was the light at the end of that tunnel. It was amazing. We ordered this book in hospital through Amazon. It took about 4 days to come. And we actually read through it thoroughly and really got an idea about what disease is and what digestive disorders are. And this book written by Dr. David Klein, actually, he had the same colitis as I did, and he actually cured himself via a plant-based diet. And that's what we did. We took these principles from this book and applied those principles for me. So this was the turning point in my journey. So we actually consulted the doctors and said, look, can we try a different diet? Because nothing is really working. So the doctor said, yes, there's nothing wrong with fruits and vegetables, so you can carry on eating that, and we'll still put you on medication. So we read this book thoroughly, and we actually emailed Dr. David Klein and consulted with him in hospital, and he actually replied to us and said, you know, stop all your medication and get on to the plant-based diet as soon as possible. And we did that. By 1 week on this diet, I was actually getting better, and my stool count, which was 40, cut down to about 5. And that was significant. We realized that by putting nutrients, proper nutrients inside your body, this is how your body can heal. And I got a lot of energy from this. I'd also like to say to you that I wasn't actually taking medication at this point in time, as he said to stop medication. So in hospital, I wasn't taking my medication. I was actually screwing it up and putting it in the bin while the nurses would come and give it to me. Now, I was on this plant-based diet for about a week, and I suddenly got so much better. So my mum asked the doctor, you know, how is he responding? How is he getting so good all of a sudden? And the doctor was saying the medication was actually working. And we know that that's not true, because I was throwing it in the bin. So after that week, I actually got discharged from hospital because I got so good. Now, after doing this diet and actually, you know, realizing the potential of how foods can heal, I have never looked back, and I continue to have a plant-based diet, not because of disease, but because for health reasons. And I'm actually not the only one who has killed themselves on this plant-based diet. There are thousands of others who have killed themselves with who have had colitis. Now, this is how I created a healthy internal environment. And to this day, I've not taken a single drug or a pill, not even Panadol, because I don't need to. Now, I want to finish with a quote from Hippocrates: "Let food be thy medicine, and thy medicine be thy food."